Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network. It's BWL Draft Week, another season of the Bears Winter League, and I could not be more excited for what we have in store for the winter. Again, the BWL, all about the top players in the Bears going head-to-head in a 10-week season, and we'll have all the information specifically about the draft and the season here on this episode of the Bears Baseball Network. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, starting with the BWL Draft. As has been tradition the last few years, it is going to be on Halloween, October 31st, a Friday, on the Bears Baseball Network right here on the BBN. This is going to be the BWL Draft. It's going to be a little bit different this year than in years past, and instead of sticking to a strict age group for each league, instead of last year we had the 12-13U league, the 14-15U league, and this year it's going to be a little bit different. The draft is going to be on Friday, October the 31st. The Varsity League draft, we'll talk about the eligibility for that league here in a second. That'll be at 5:30 p.m. on Friday. The JV League draft will be right after. The Freshman Prep draft right after that one, and the Youth League draft right after that one. Typically, the drafts take about 20 to 30 minutes on average. So if you are expected to get drafted in the Freshman Prep League, expect that league to start around 6:20, 6:30, but that'll all be on the Bears Baseball Network YouTube channel right here on the BBN. So let's talk about what each of these leagues are. Again, a little bit different this year. The Varsity League draft is for players. Basically, each league has a age cap, but does not have an age floor. So before we had the 16-18U league, this league, the Varsity League, is for 18U and below. So if there is a top 16U player, they get drafted in the Varsity League. Potentially a top 15U player could get drafted to the Varsity League. If you're not drafted in the Varsity League, you're eligible for the JV League if you are 16U and below. The Freshman Prep League is any player 14U and below, and the Youth League is eligible for any 13U player and below. So basically the way it'll work, again, top 6U players will probably get drafted to that Varsity League. Top 14U players may get drafted to the JV League. Top 13U players in the Freshman Prep League, and so on. And then the Youth League will probably be around the 11 to 13U range, with some 10U players eligible to get drafted in that league as well. We've had 10U players play in the BWL before. But overall, 104 players will get drafted in this year's Bears Winter League. And any player who is not drafted will become a free agent and can be picked up at any time during the season. Last year, again, it was the same amount of players drafted. 104 players were drafted last year, and nearly 140 took at bats in the BWL. So if you are not drafted on draft night, do not worry. You can still get picked up. Just like in years past, to play in the BWL, you do have to attend practice. If you miss your practice or you can't make up a practice, if you do not attend a Bears practice the week before BWL, you are ineligible to play that week. You must be at practice to be eligible to play in the BWL. Guys who miss practice, guys who don't perform, they find themselves dropped out of the BWL, and a new player who has been attending practice can be picked up. So again, we do see a lot of motion in these leagues, so if you are not drafted, do not worry about that. A lot of players get picked up. Obviously, the coaches, KJ of the Pinstripes, Rob Floyd of the Throwbacks, they keep these rosters moving. A lot of players get picked up. They have a pretty quick hook when it comes to picking players up, so do not worry if you do not get drafted. Let's talk about the BWL season. It is a 10-week season starting on November 8th. The league runs on Saturdays, with the Youth League starting at 2 p.m., the Freshman Prep League at 3:30, the JV League at 5:30, and the Varsity League at 7:30. Like I said, it is a 10-week, 10-game regular season. The dates for those weeks will come out in a Rob email in the future. But it's basically every Saturday, excluding holidays, weeks that were off. But it's basically every Saturday between now and February. A 10-week regular season followed by a championship game. And what are you playing for in the regular season? Every win that a team gets over 5 gives a team a run in the championship game. So if a team goes 7-3, the Pinstripes last year went 7-3 in one league, they start the championship game 2-0 on top of being the home field team in the championship. So that is what you're playing for in the regular season. Very excited for another year of the BWL. Again, the draft is Friday, October the 31st, with the Varsity League kicking off first in that draft. So very, very excited for this year of the BWL. That's going to do it for this episode of the Bears Baseball Network, and we'll talk to y'all next time.